Hey guys, it's Mac here. Now this is part 5 of the Instagram clone tutorial. On the last part, we created our service file where we got this to work, and we showed, developer concept on what to do and, how to look through documentation and find what you're looking for. So now that we have this folder, we have to link this, basically all our elements from our login screen into our controller. So if we click this tab right here, this is where we do all the linking. So click that right there. Now make sure we're in the login screen, which we are. Login view controller. And we make some space on top always. Now, what are things we need to link? So we don't need to link this label because we're never changing it. We don't need to link this view because we're never changing it. We're only gonna need the values of the login screen, of the username, of the password, and this login button. So let's get that. So we hold Control on our keyboard and we drop and drag it into this right here. Now, what are outlets? Outlets are basically stuff we're getting value from, not stuff we're really clicking. It's just stuff we're getting value from. So this is going to be an outlet. And what we're going to do is just name this txt username. Click connect. And let's create the next one. Txt password. Click connect. Sweet. We got those two working. And the next one we want to do, and I usually delete this function, and I'm just going to delete this right here too, just to clean up our file. We don't really need it. Don't delete your view controller because we are going to be using that. And in here, our login button, we're going to connect. And this is not going to be an outlet because we're not changing properties from it. We actually want to know when we click it. So this is going to be an action. So login collect is what I'm going to name this function, and it creates a function for us. So anytime this button is clicked, it'll call whatever it's in here. Now, what do we want to happen? So what we want to happen is actually log our user in. So the way we do that, I'm actually going to import Swifty.json, just to have that already. And we want here, so first off, let's make a instance of that service file that we made. So we're going to call service equals service. Or actually, we actually don't need to do that. There's another way we can do it, which would just be service, and we do those brackets, and we get that login function we made. Now, as you can see, it takes a parameter, and we're going to create that variable now. So let parameters, and we'll call this, make sure that you add this part right here. This is basically saying parameters is going to be this kind of variable, which is an array that, the key is a string and the value could be anything. So we're going to click enter, and let's start creating that array. So what values are we going to put here? Now, this is basically where you put your Postman variables. Now, if we open Postman real quick, let's just open Postman if I can find it. And you guys remember those variables that we entered when testing our our API. So we're going to be using the exact same parameters. That's really important, guys. You can't just name them anything you want. It has to be the exact same parameters. So if we go here into our body, sweet, we're in our body. If we go into our body, we have username and we have password. So those are going to be our parameters. So in here, actually I'm going to close this because we did the linking already, and I'm just going to click on this file just so we have the full screen. So we're going to click username, and what's the value of that key? So the value of that key is going to be txt username.text. Now this could also be empty, so we're just going to unwrap it. So you can do shift and 1. There we go. And then we're going to do a comma for our next variable, basically our next key, which is password, which we're going to do the same thing, which is txt password.text, and do that right there. Now that should be ready to go. It's going to ask us to do as any object, and you'll see in a second what we do when it access that. Okay, so it's going to ask us to do that. So we just click this right here, fix, and it's going to ask us to do the exact same thing for password. Perfectly fine. Fix. Sweet. So now that we got that working, in here in the completion, we just want to double click this. And in here, I'm going to type JSON. You can type anything you want. You can name this response. Just to not get things confused, I'm going to name this response actually, or results. Let's just call it response. So what this is doing, it's going to go to service file. It's going to go to the login function. It's going to send these parameters just like it does in Postman. And in this part right here, it's going to get the response. Now the response is basically that JSON that we want. So actually, I don't have MAMP open. I need that so we can access our database. Let me start the MAMP server. I do have the Laravel server open, but the MAMP database is not up and running right now. So let's just let that run. Sorry about that, guys. So okay, sweet, that is running. And if we look back into our Postman real quick. Oops, sorry about that. If we look back to our Postman, we click this, and this is how our, our data looks. Our response this is JSON. We got a status. We got a message. So what we want to do is look at the status first. That's how we know if we're logged in or not. So if we do if, and we do response. And there we go. And then in here, we want to put our key, whatever it's called. So it's called status. And this is actually going to be always a number. So we do int value equals 0. So if we look back to our Laravel file and we go to our login API controller, if it's 0, it means login was unsuccessful. So this is where our terminal comes in use. So if it is 0, let's just go to our terminal and print login was incorrect. And then else, let's add a little comment. Login was good. Let's do print user ID. And to put variables inside strings, all you do is you do that right there, and you put the variable inside here. So let's get that user ID that we just talked about. User ID equals, and what do you guys think we do? So basically we do response. What's the name of that JSON? It's called message. And in this point, if it is valid, message is not going to be a string. Message is going to be an integer value as well. So that is correct. And let's just put it in here. Sweet. We got that working. No errors. Let's run our app. Sweet, we got our app ready to build. It's running and awesome. So now that we have this, I'm gonna write a username. I'm gonna write my username, but I'm gonna put my wrong password. So I'm gonna put Mac. I'm gonna usually you're gonna have some stuff in your terminal already. Let's just exit it and let's open our simulator again. Click login and let's see what happens. So I click login and nothing is actually happening. So we can see why in a second. Okay, so let's try to fix this problem. Why is nothing happening when I'm clicking the login button? So a quick test to do this is actually, let's just comment everything right here. Comment everything here. And let's make sure that our button is actually linked. So we do login, button was clicked. Like I said, it's a good way to test. I'm showing you guys how everything is working. This way, you guys can, if you guys run into problems, you know how to debug them. Sweet. So our app is running. I'm gonna click the login button, and it is actually linked. So the next issue is that our JSON, it's not actually falling into this. So if we go to our service file, in here, we are going to do print equals not valid JSON. Okay, so basically what this is doing is that if the JSON is valid, then we're gonna go in here. But if it's not valid, don't even give us a response. So that's actually what's happening right now. And let's click login and not valid JSON. Okay, as you can see right here, we're getting a not valid JSON. So let's see why we're getting that. Now let's open our Postman real quick. Open everything, sweet. And now if we get an error, what are we getting? We're still getting a valid JSON. So the problem could be with our IP address. Yep, I actually have a space in that. So sorry about that, guys. That most likely is the error, is this space that I had right there. If you guys just noticed, wow, that was a big issue. So let's just enter anything right here. Click that, and login was incorrect, as we see right here. Sweet. So I'm gonna just close this, and let's actually enter a valid login. So we got Great Matter Mac, and I believe my password was Mackenzie. Login, sweet. So we got the user ID, and my user ID is 2. So now we got the login working. It's connecting to our API. And you guys basically got the first screen of our app ready to go, guys. Great job if you guys got this already working. If you guys didn't get it working, just rewind the video, see what I did. I mean, like I said, I didn't pause the video at any time. So I'm showing you guys my mistakes. And, you know, just had a beginner mistake. I had a space in that, but I'm sure you guys probably didn't make the same mistake as me. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please comment below if you're liking this series. Please like it, and don't forget to subscribe. On the next video, we're going to be doing a little bit more in the login before we get on the sign up. So we're going to get that working, and then we can finally start working on the main app, which is basically, you know, the profile and all that other good stuff. Anyways, I'll catch you guys on the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you guys on part 5.